Chronological Bible in a Year reading plan, day 74. Today we were in Deuteronomy 11 through 13, and what stood out to me was something that reminded me of a quote I heard in college. At the beginning of chapter 11, Moses is reminding the Israelites, "Therefore love the Lord your God, keep his commandments, his statutes, his ordinances, and his commands. And understand it is not your children who experienced or saw the discipline of the Lord your God." And then Moses reminds them of all the things that God had done among them over the past 40 years. It reminded me of a quote I heard in college, that when the first generation of a family discovers the truth of the gospel, they learn about the greatness of God, the next generation will come to just accept that as true. And then, assuming no further discovery in the family line, that third generation will reject that truth and walk away from it. And we see that holding out time and time again. The first generation will rediscover the truth, the protection, the provision of God. The next generation will stand strong, but out of obedience, not conviction. And then the third generation goes away, leaving Israel in trouble, in need of rescue. So a question I wrestled with since I first heard that is, how can I be a first generation regardless of my family? Even if I have strong parents or grandparents in the faith, how can I rediscover God for myself? But now as a parent, I ask the inverted side of the question, how can I help my children become a first generation? Hopefully I myself am one, but how can I help them discover these truths for themselves? I would love to hear in the comments below, what generation are you? Did you discover this truth on your own, or were you raised in a family where you merely accepted it as so? Or maybe are you just curious and you're tempted to walk away from it? Or perhaps you were raised in a strong family, but somewhere along the lines, you discovered the truths and you yourself went from that second or third generation to a first generation disciple. And what are some things we can do to keep God fresh in our minds and introduce God to those around us? I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. But until then, God bless.